All right, looks like we are live from live from Florida, baby. New digs. I'll have this office set up here just in case everybody's wondering what it looks like where I am. Here's stuff, more stuff,
Wow.
stuff. All right, good. Um, and that's just my little room. And you should see the rest of the house. So I'm glad to be here with everyone. Hope you had a great holiday. We have another one coming up this weekend. It's called New Year. Uh, and I'm excited about the new year. I think a lot of you are, right? We've got some plans, we've got some goals, some purposes, and no matter what business you're in or what your main ideas are for 2021, you got a head start. It's not or 2022, you got a head start. So so I want to tell you a little story, if that's okay, because I last time I talked with you guys was on Monday, and those who weren't there live didn't get to hear it because I haven't posted any recordings. I just got my internet hooked up, and the tethering. Apparently, I can only get like 2 bars in this house, so I couldn't do very well with downloading and uploading with my phone. But we talked a little bit about resolve on Monday, and an example that came up for me was this move. I mean, there's anyone who's moved, there's curveballs, there's difficulties. No one gets through unless you just hire people to do everything for you, which I'm not willing to do, right? I got a lot of stuff. I'll pack it myself. This is like heirloom, or at least heirloom for me. And nobody, at least as far as I think, nobody's going to quite do it the way I would do it. Hence my do it yourself sort of a thing. I don't mind the drive, although the drive that we were going to do in 4 days got reduced to 3, because here's the situation. We were packing truck on the 24th. Some of you heard part of this story. Packing truck on Christmas Eve. And after not seeing a friggin' cloud in Arizona for 3 months, we had the most torrential downpour rain ever that I could ever remember, at least for the last decade in Arizona. Total deluge. And so the guys worked for a couple hours. We had 3 guys moving, packing, and they were like, we'll come back tomorrow. It's like, tomorrow's Christmas Day. They're like, yeah, we we don't have families. Like, we are our family. Christmas Day it is. Skies cleared. Actually, it was still cloudy. Water everywhere, but at least we can get stuff up the ramp. And the boxes wouldn't get soaked. I got a bunch of sagging boxes right now from getting rained on. We bought tarps, and Shannon had like these big umbrellas she got at Home Depot to kind of hold over the guys as they were coming out of the garage and into the ramp for the truck. Anyway, it was not workable. Christmas Day was workable. We got everything in the truck except what we couldn't fit. And because it's Christmas Day, you can't even rent a trailer. So we had to go get, we had to wait. We were supposed to hit the road Christmas Day. That would be our first day of driving. Festive, right? Jingle bells, dashing through the, hopefully not snow, right? We're in the South. And so, no, we're not going friggin' anywhere. We wait till the next day. We get a trailer at 9 a.m. We get it to the house. We load it with a few things. We thought we were going to fit everything in the truck. It just didn't work out. Okay. And we even sold a lot of our stuff. And so we filled up the trailer, hooked it up to Shannon's van. She's got a Chrysler Pacifica, can pull 3,500 pounds, no problem. So we got the trailer. We finally hit the road the day after Christmas. And we took 4 days of driving and compressed it into 3. And Shannon had the kid and the 2 dogs and the hamster. I had me and a 26-foot truck. And we did it. We did it in 3 days. And I will tell you that Interstate 10 going through Eastern Texas is the craziest friggin' thing. Like, holy crap. Construction zones that go for miles and miles and miles with zero shoulder and semis on, each side at 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. I've never seen anything like this through a construction zone that never friggin' ends. And then the lanes are going to shift this way, and the lanes are going to shift that way. Uneven pavement. Now the truck's leaning. I'm like, Missy, I did not have a cardiac arrest. I did not have a cardiac arrest. My wife said her knuckles were white. She was pulling a trailer. She's not used to doing that, right? We got here at 11 p.m. 2 nights ago now. And and the inflatable beds that we had to sleep on were packed into the truck somewhere because the guys just were packing maniacs, right? So we had to go get a hotel room. Hotel room won't take dogs. So, so my wife got to sleep on the floor with some padding she got from a swing. And my daughter and I slept in a hotel right down the street. And now here we are unpacking. So why am I telling you this story? Is this just curiosa? Like, John, who gives a shit? Like where's the meat? Give us some tools, man. Give us some tools. All right, here's the tools. Back to that idea of resolve, which Missy, I know, got to talk about a bit on Monday. Most people, I would say in my assessment, just having observed a lot of people, given, let's say that they start a new business or something, and given a new set of problems that they don't get to deal with often, right? They've never done that before. That's new. It's a new problem. There's back off. People tend to back off or just plain quit, right? I know certainly with my experience in the network marketing home business world, where people get started for a couple thousand or even a couple $100, right? There's no big commitment there. They take a walk. That's it. Oh, this is harder than I thought. I'm out. Even if they lie to themselves a little bit and be like, I'm going to stick it through, or I'm not going to quit. You know, my favorite one that I hear when people say they're like 2 weeks into the business and they haven't like made $1 million yet. And they'll say, I'm not getting discouraged, but I won't get discouraged. I've said, you're 2 weeks in. You're not qualified to be discouraged. Like, your opinion doesn't even matter yet, right? Like, you don't have even a qualified opinion, right? I'm not going to quit. What do I hear when I say that? That double negative. I'm not going to quit. I did some work with this guy named Michael Lozier. He wrote the book, which I'm sure you've heard the title of, The Law of Attraction. And in that book, he points out 3 words that you want to be very careful with: don't, not, and no. Because if we're saying, let's say to my daughter, okay, don't do that. Well, what are we putting our attention on? Doing that. And what you think about, you expand, right? You're validating that, which you're saying, don't do this thing, which I'm validating for you right now. Okay. My wife says, don't let me forget to get the thing. I'm like, don't say that to me. Help me remember to get the thing. Now we're talking. Okay. But don't let me forget. Okay. Forget. So don't, not, and no. You can see how, at least with his logic behind this, how that would be if we just check our language a little bit on that. Okay. So when somebody says to me, well, but I'm not going to quit. I'm 2 weeks in. I haven't made a lot of money yet, but I'm not going to quit, or I'm not getting discouraged. Yeah, you are. Otherwise, why the hell would you say that to me? Why would you come to me and say that you're not getting discouraged? Because you're getting discouraged. That's exactly why. It's just, now, granted, I could be very smug as I stand above the mess and observe it objectively. I'm not in it, right? Oh, I could see your errors, right? That's easy to do when you're not in it. Okay. But when you're in it, right? Here's back to the idea of resolve. This truck and that car and the trailer and the contents, the people in that car and the dogs and the hamster are getting to Tampa in 3 days, period. Okay. Actually, we're outside of Tampa. We're across Tampa Bay. You guys know Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Dunedin, right? That's where we are. It's freaking beautiful. Humid as hell. I'll get used to it. But coming out of Arizona, right? Oh, I drove through Glen Country, right? That's where a lot of the hellish driving was too. Houston. Oh my goodness. And then I got to drive through a little bit of lower Alabama. I was thinking of Lindsay as I did it. As I went over the whatever the bay or the river or wherever it is in Mobile, right? I went through a tunnel and stuff. And next thing, I'm sure Lindsay knows what it's like. You go through a tunnel and then you're going over a causeway. Anyway, I got to see a bunch of the Southern United States. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Interesting. In fact, much of Louisiana, interesting. Swamps that just go on and on and on. Yeah, Mobile Bay, there you go. And then we got into Florida, Pensacola, Tallahassee, Lake Town, or Lake City, and then south, Gainesville, which we're going to be in March for anybody who wants to, anybody into the NHRA Nitro drag racing. Gator Nationals, March 2022, Gainesville. So that's a couple hours north. But the point is that we had to get it done. There was no turning back. So here's the idea. With everything that we're planning, let's say each of us individually for 2022, which we could say is a medium-term goal, right? A long-term goal would be like a 5-year or a 10-year kind of a thing. A medium-term goal, we could say 6 months to a year, 2 years, right? Short-term goals, 90 days, 30 days, right? Things like that. But it's easy to, for me, I'll speak for myself. It's easier for me to plan short-term goals than it is medium or longer-term goals. The resolve is stickier. It's stickier with short-term goals. Get this truck to Tampa in 3 days. That's a short-term goal. Okay. It's a very known, finite, specific target. There's nothing vague about that. We got the map, right? There's fuel stations along the way. By the way, I'm a truck stop aficionado now. All right. I got the frequent flyer card and everything from Loves, baby. So that there's nothing vague about it. There's no delayed gratification, right? What's the delay? 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, 0. That's it. So done. Next year. So here we are. Let's say it's a year from now, December 22. And can we, with that same amount of resolve and unvagueness, can we accomplish in a year with that same resolve that we could accomplish in the short term? Things that seem, they're a little bit more nebulous, right? What does it look like a year from now? So I need to write this stuff out. So just like I had a plan to get this truck here, right? And here's the route, and we're going to stay in this city, Fort Stockton, Texas, Lafayette, Louisiana. Prior, it used to be when it was a 4-day trip, Las Cruces, New Mexico, San Antonio, Texas, Mobile, Alabama, right? So we had to compress that. But because the end, we had a deadline, right? A truck guy is going to be unloading the truck that morning, yesterday morning, right? Truck's got to be here, right? Or we got to reschedule and a friggin' mess, right? But no, I want to get this done. So we actually compressed time. It was that which we said, let's do it in 4 days. We actually did it in 3. So then maybe this is the trick. Maybe this is the trick. That which we think is going to take 1 year, can we compress that into 6 months? In other words, if we hit it with such resolve and decided, you know what, work expands to fill the time allowed for it, right? That's Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time allotted for it. So what if I just allot myself less time and have more urgency on it? Not to drive myself crazy, not to have a cardiac arrest as I'm driving through, with this much space on either side of the truck at 60 miles an hour. Well, what if we just tightened it up a bit? Because I like that done thing. I like done. I like that. Does it have to take a year? Most people give themselves too much time. So when we set goals, and I think this would be a great way to end off, we are going to have one more general session for the year, and that'll be tomorrow, Fun Friday, the 31st. But when we set goals, considering the SMART formula, which I think a lot of you are familiar with, right? SMART, specific, right? Nothing vague. Measurable, M, measurable, okay? Quantification, right? What does it cost, or right? A is achievable. Does anybody else do this? Could I do this, right? Is that for real? Achievable. R for relevant. Do I want this? Why do I want this? What are the emotions that are involved with this? Not just logic, emotions, relevant to me, right? And then T for time. This is where I think a lot of people give themselves too much time, because there's always tomorrow, right? Or is there? Mañana is a dangerous word, right? It's tomorrow in Spanish, by the way. Yeah. So can we when we look at these goals, these ideas for 2021, can we be a little bit unreasonable, not irrational, and not irresponsible, right? But unreasonable. Oh, I like that. Can we be a bit unreasonable with our own timelines? Because work expands to fill the time allowed for it. And if I'm setting my expectations based on whatever so-called precedent which doesn't really exist, but whatever I accomplished yesterday or last year, if that's my standard, what's that worth? But again, is my opinion, do I even have a qualified opinion of what 2022 is going to look like? No, I haven't done it yet. Once 2022 is done, I'll have a very qualified opinion about it. But just like that person who, oh, I'm not getting discouraged, even though they've been in the business 2 weeks, and yes, they're getting discouraged, and their opinion doesn't even matter because they have no experience, right? So just like that, I need to put on the mind of a newcomer, right? The mind of the neophyte, the student. Yes, I could be a student of 2022. In fact, I could surprise and delight myself with how much I can accomplish in so little time. Look, this job I just did, this, moving my family across the country, right? That tested my mettle. Not only mine, okay, but have we not all, even my daughter, leaving her familiarity and, the kids at the karate school, we got to go find a new karate school now. And she's homeschooled. So it's not like we've taken her out of, such and such school or whatever, right? She does it online. But but all of us tested our mettle. So, and now I guess if we're going to set any precedent, well, let's set that as a precedent. It doesn't mean run yourself ragged like we did for the last 3.5 days. Okay, thank goodness. But it does mean having some resolve and tightening up those. Well, let me say it this way. Affording ourselves less excuses. Affording ourselves less excuses. That sounds like the right way to say it. Perhaps, unless you got a better way to say it. Demanding more of ourselves, raising our standards. I've gone through life, in case that's not obvious, I've gone through life up to this point, and I've had wins and losses. And I've tended to, and I think a lot of people do this as well, I've tended to fixate my attention on the losses. I hate making mistakes, right? Oh, I scratched that wood, loading it into the truck. Oh, my attention's on that. Oh, I'm such a screw up, right? Well, I got, wood stain touch up. We'll be okay. But still, I hate making mistakes, right? Probably from my upbringing, nothing was ever good enough. John, why'd you do that? John, wrong. Stop, right? Don't not know, right? So can I unfixate my attention from those losses and rehabilitate my standards? I think if we fixate our attention on the losses and lower our standards and then lower them again and then lower them some more, we end up, well, where a lot of people end up. Earl Nightingale said in The Strangest Secret, he said, here we live in the land of opportunity, the richest land that's ever been known, and most people are broke. What happened to the twinkle in the eye of the 20-year-old? Right? You ask the guy at 70 or 60 or 50, right? What about those dreams you had when you were 20? Succumb. Yeah. I think we deserve to raise our standards. I'll speak for myself. You guys can do whatever you want. But let's not fixate our attention on what didn't work in 2021. Let's tighten up the timelines. Really, I think that's the key. Is the T in the SMART goals formula. It's the one that's, I think, most where people get most reasonable is with the T. If you specifically know what you want, okay, well, now that's case closed. Measurable, well, it's, what does it cost or whatever? Okay, fine. Achievable, well, yeah, other people do that too. Yeah. Relevant, yeah, I really want it. T for time. This is where we get arbitrary. This is it. T for time. I don't know. I don't control time. I mean, I don't cause time to stop or speed up. Me. So the whole idea of time management, I think, is a misnomer. It's activity management. It's self-management. That's where I got to work. That's where I got to work in 2022. That's where I'm going to work in 2022. So if it's activity management, and we think it might take a year, if we could do it in 6 months, or if we can get crazy about it and be really unreasonable, like Grant Cardone, the 10X rule, right? So, okay, then 1/10 of the time, or 10 times the production in the same amount of time. In other words, we're compressing time to the point where we're getting so much more done. And you know what happens, and I'll end off with this. What happens is we spend we spend less attention on the petty foibles and ankle biting stuff. Like when we got to get it done, right? We got to get it done. Then I have less spare attention to fixate on the tiny little ankle biting problems, right? I could sit there and look at that little scratch in the wood. I'll be like, you know what? I'll touch that up when we get to Florida. Let's keep loading. Because we're on timelines now. We're not affording ourselves so much liberty for random whatever. That's what's coming up for me. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can relate to it. This is my reality right now. And some of it obviously very objective, some of it metaphorical for, moving forward. I'm completely objective right now. I mean, you want to see objects? I got objects, baby. I got objects. There's my bookshelves, by the way. Yeah, you guys have seen those a million times. Look at those. I think Adrian's got the same ones. Let me shut up. Let me have somebody else talk now. Somebody else, please. Talk. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Missy.
I always give people 4 seconds, but they don't raise their hands.
That's okay. It's a custom now.
First of all, so glad you made it.
Thank you. Me too.
And it would have been unreasonable for you to do that in to think of doing it in 3 days. Maybe if it were just you alone, but with your wife and your daughter and the dogs, but somehow you made it. And so that is a wonderful, wonderful. I'm sorry that it was so stressful, especially for Shannon and probably the animals too. And your daughter probably took it like a hero, heroine. But that is, I just wrote down, there's no such thing as time management. It's activity management, because I keep making an excuse to myself. Well, I'm not good at time management yet, but I'm going to get there. No, I'm not going to get there. That means I'll just be always going to get there, as I've learned. So I just have to make it happen. I don't know how yet, but I think it was Adrian the other day. Somebody said, no, we're never ready. We're never, you don't wait till you get this little telegram. You're now ready to do. No, it doesn't come. God doesn't send telegrams.
You ever get the memo?
I know. I never get the memo, but, and when we first made goals back with the mug thing, the 60, 90 day, I didn't know what I was thinking of, but I didn't know what to put down for that. So I just put anything down. And I still have a very hopeful expectation. And I don't know how I'm going to make it, but I'm just going to go for it. Like taking off the top of a mountain, having never skied before. Could be a catastrophe. It could be a magnificent victory, but you still have to go for it. So thank you for this example. And I'm so sorry that it took all that to give us, but it's been a magnificent explanation of what real resolve is. And sit down, because you look like
I don't have anywhere to sit. Here's a piece of my desk chair.
All right. Well, thank you, John, because that really related to me and kicked me where I didn't want to be kicked. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Missy. I love you. And I'm so glad we found each other, right? This whole group, what a cast of characters. And I do mean characters. Yeah. Really great. And you were citing, something Adrian talked about. Adrian is extremely insightful. And he has a read on stuff. And I think, Adrian, I'm not going to pull you out here, but just to lean on you for just a bit, your ability to see, why things go the way they go or not go, is one of the things I love most about you as a presenter. And thank you for holding down the fort, you and Glenn and was Ivier on this, whoever was hosting. Yeah. And so thank you for that. Because look, what we talk about here in this group is, I think, the most vital stuff. I don't think we're just kicking tires. I think when we really get down to it, the studies of the basic truths of life, right, and philosophy, that's the definition of. If you don't have that, well, then I guess we're just shooting in the dark. So thank you for all of you for your insights, and thank you, Adrian, for being somebody I can trust to to keep this train moving.
Hey, John, it's a great train. We all want to be on it. That's for sure. There's a
Good.
lot of positive energy. And Parkinson's law, you know, you and I have spoken about it before. You're absolutely right about that. It's absolutely true. The guy was brilliant. He had a brilliant way of summarizing the truths of life. And I talked previously about artificial adrenaline. You've got to create artificial adrenaline, because you know that if you set the alarm, it doesn't go off, and you've got an hour to get somewhere and you're late, you're going to get there. You're going to rush out of that shower. You're going to rush out of that door, whatever it takes. Whereas on a normal day, you wouldn't make it in that time. So we can do it. We can do it. But of course, we don't want to do it because it's uncomfortable. So we have to create this artificial adrenaline whereby we set a deadline. And we watch that deadline and we set Pomodoro reminders, 25 minutes a shot, whatever we're going to do. But we watch the deadline approaching and we really push ourselves to stick to it. It's the only way to get that motivation, particularly on a quiet, dull day in the depths of the year where you're a bit tired, had a bad sleep, whatever it is. We've got to push ourselves. So this Parkinson's law is so true. If I tell you you've got a month to do a project, you're going to take every single day of that, every single day of it, no matter how long it is. And we're just not going to get far like that. So you're absolutely right to bring that up. I think that's one of the key things to keeping moving for 2022. So thank you for that, John.
Thank you.
And thanks for being there as the daily energy that we can all plug into. Your enthusiasm and your spark kind of keeps everybody going. So that's just great to see.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Virginia. Yeah, Virginia was just on with CEO Freedom Accelerator with Shannon. But I think what we might do is the counter to today's conversation. The counter would be what not to do, okay, which is revealed to me by an app, which I've suggested to some of you. Right now, we're just talking about what to do in 2022, like what we're committed to getting done, Virginia. And how long does it actually take? Are we being soft on ourselves, right? Because I just gave an example of moving, right, where we had specific timelines, very rigid, okay. I wouldn't want to live my whole life that way, but that can be instructive towards, the standards that I set for myself moving forward, because I just proved my mettle, right? So now what? I go on vacation? No, don't go on vacation. But I think a lot of the stuff, Adrian, as you were talking, that came up for me was, well, if I give myself excuses or allow myself more time than necessary, well, that time's going somewhere. Well, where's it going? Where's it going? And I've used this app. We could talk about it perhaps tomorrow. I think it'd be a great way to kick off the new year and to end this year. App's called A-Tracker, A-T-R-A-C-K-E-R. And it tracks down to the minute everything you do. You just got to, you set it up. And then it takes about a week to get into the groove with using it. And then the data that comes out of this app after using it for a couple of weeks is like, holy crap, that's where my time's going. You mean I spent 18 minutes driving? You mean I was on, you're watching YouTube videos for 37 minutes? How did that happen, right? And look, all this time, and you can color code it like green, red, different colors for different good or bad or whatever you want to do. And anyway, we can maybe demo that a little bit tomorrow. I did a video on it for actually for the CFA group, CEO Freedom group, and it's scary. It's scary when you actually get to confront the data, the real data of where your time's going. Yeah, you got to have a bit of chutzpah to do that, because it's easy to stay blind and comfortable, right? It's easy to just go with the flow, whatever that means. Hey, Adrian, you're.
John, yes, you just reminded me about other discussions we had about the not to do list. Is a key part of that toolkit. If you use that app, you've got to generate a not to do list, which is actually, they say, more important than your to do list. And Janet's just alluded to this as well, the activity list. What activities am I not going to engage in? Because if you don't program yourself to say no very firmly in advance, you will get carried away on a sea of demands, requests, interruptions, news feeds, whatever it is. And we all know that is so easy to fall into. And we've talked about this, John, you've talked about it many times as well. It's the not to do list is so crucial to getting good, productive days where we actually get something done.
Right. Yeah. So the time's going to go somewhere. It does take a bit of honesty and willingness to confront, the actual data, right? A lot of people don't want to look. So it could be a little scary at first when we get to really be accountable, like really accountable to ourselves, right? It's not like I'm going to fire myself. That would be interesting. Okay, good times, everybody. Anybody else have some thoughts, or shall I get back to unpacking and setting? You know what? I can't wait to show you guys my new office. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. Well, we'll all see it for the first time together. I don't know. Probably be good. I got a little bit more room in here though, so I think I'm going to get one of those fold-out sofa beds. So I'll have a guest room, and you guys can come sleep in my office if you want to come visit us in Clearwater.
You know what else is popular? And oh, it used to be anyway in Florida was the Murphy beds. You know, it goes up against the wall.
Oh yeah.
You don't even see it, and then you just pull it down
Oh, right.
on there. But you do have to have that floor space to pull it down. You're going to be shopping at consignment stores. I just want you to know.
Okay.
On our previous call, there's a lot of rich people in your area. You might
Yeah,
find that leather sofa.
We just found it
Did you?
on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
People are giving stuff away too. We found that it didn't work for our style, but the Tootsie recliners and stuff. $6,000. Yours today for $1,500. Please, somebody come pick it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, because I have to move and all. Yeah.
yeah.
I do want to say that on the time management, I know I came here late, but what Shannon has done in courses that I've taken with her before was very helpful, is she turns off notifications.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to this every, once an hour or something because you get notified. And she looks at her social media for like 15 minutes or something in the morning. And then maybe she checks it later in the day. She's not constantly checking, oh, there's a Facebook post or there's this or that. And so those we know are real time stealers. This going, and that's something that I need to get back to myself, just putting myself on a schedule and giving myself the permission to say, okay, I spent the allocated time on this project. I now need to move to the second item I've got scheduled and not just let this time expand. Oh, well, I'm not done yet. I'll spend another hour on it or whatever, as we have a tendency to do. I need to stay with my blocks of time so that I'm achieving multiple outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
I learned from her as well.
Shannon's brilliant at that. So good. We'll take that up tomorrow, and we'll play with the app too. And for those of you who want to go down that road, so you can be efficient. Anyway, love you guys. Anybody else before
I
we
just
wrap
want to
up?
make sure you're not doing the 115 today and tomorrow, right?
Oh, no. I'm completely
Good.
off.
I got things to do. Yes. Go sit down. Have a
You
sandwich.
look tired. You look tired.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you look awesome.
Take a break. Take a
Right
break
back
too.
at you. Yeah, I'll
I
take a
told
break.
I told Shannon she had to outsource unpacking.
Oh, no. No, because then you know what happens? What happens with that is, all right, well, then put that over there. You know what? Not sure. Hold on, maybe put it over there. No, we're not going to outsource unpacking. But it's a good idea for other people. Love you, Virginia. All right, you guys. Anybody else? Ingrid? Hey, Ingrid.
Here.
There she is.
I'm just getting the coffee. Oh, I'm tired. But you guys have been busting butt for 3 days. I just been busting Beamer butt, so it's a different thing. Yours is much more intense. And actually, I love long drives. That's where I do all my smartness.
Yeah. I listen to
We're a
audio
family
books.
of drivers. Like, I just drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good for everything. That's where all my thinking happens.
There you go.
And
Well, that's great.
Ingrid, who is my mentor in Beamer, has now just become a team manager, which is huge. So she has kind of surfaced up, and she's very humble. She doesn't talk about herself
She's
or
awesome.
brag on herself.
Ingrid's-
Yeah, she
Ingrid's
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her internet sucks, but she's awesome. All right. Good to see you, Ingrid. Actually, I didn't see you, but I heard you. Congratulations. All right, guys, let's wrap up. I'm going to get back to work, and I will see you back here tomorrow. I don't know what I'll be wearing, but probably this still. This, by the way, this shirt is a gift from guess who? Daisy Fabregar. Thank you, Daisy. Glendale, California.
Ah.
Yay.